trying to size in here. First time trading this ticker, so I'm not going to go much more. Overall, I like the setup. 5 minute looks good. So let's see how it behaves. All right, well, that pullback was a bit unfortunate. Crazy behavior on this one. I'm not sure how I feel about it. A lot of volume, sell volume there. Cut position. Cutting the rest. Oh, it didn't. Okay, there we go. Dang, big loss there for what feels like no real reason. Morning traders, welcome back. Part of me wants to keep trading drug. I'm just like, I must do it. And the other part of me is like, Alex, you forgot how to trade today. There's absolutely no reason you should even touch anything else until tomorrow, because technically I reached my summer max loss, which is half of my normal half loss, which is around 5. So my normal max loss is 1,000, right? So I'm at 587. I was at 500 and I tried like 3 or 4 more trades and I just could not. I could not get in the flow. If you guys watched the recap today, the recording, the day trading recording, you guys are gonna laugh. Like I couldn't do anything. I was like a chicken without a head today. I was all over the place, super sporadic. I don't know if it was me or the tickers. I mean, the tickers were pretty bad. They were not great for my strategy yesterday or really the day before either. And I'm officially red on the week, but I'm super nice green on the month. And really the reason for that is this week I just kept my losses small. I kept cutting out, and now I'm just slightly red, so it's fine. Sometimes that happens. And I mean, look at this. This is just insane. A 26% win ratio. I only had 7 winners. I had 4 consecutive losers. That's not too bad. My risk reward also not too bad. I sized down as well. So I just didn't make a lot of profit today. I just could not nail any moves. And look at this chart. This is crazy. I think this is like one of my most consistent loser kind of streaks ever. I just, one trade after another, a lot of scratches. So, and for the most part, none of them really worked out either, which is crazy. So it's like I had a lot of trades and I, kept shooting into the dark. And if I did hold, I would have just had an even bigger red day. So extra disappointing in that. And, sometimes it happens, and that's why we have max losses. So it's nice that I reduced my max loss for the summertime, just because I feel like if I had $1,000 red day today, it would be much more of a bummer. I'm not really bummed at all. I'm just like, yeah, it was a bad day, and I managed my risk, and so be it. I could have maybe had some nice trades on DRUG. Like if I just got any sort of these pops. I tried so many times on like other tickers like MNMD to get some pops, and every time I cut my losses and it didn't work out. I think there was one trade where I actually ended up missing the pop, and I think it was right here. Somehow I scratched out, but I just had so many of these attempts where like right here I closed right before the dip, and so I was managing my risk pretty well today. I just yeah, I don't know, I couldn't really get green. It was very frustrating. At one point I was like laughing a lot in the recording. I was just like, I don't know what's going on, guys. Like I can't do anything right. So that was a little bit stressful. Let's just look at the biggest losers today. CRIS, what do we got here? Or we'll start with the biggest losers. Man, this ticker was so tough for me to trade. And technically, you'd look at this and be like, Alex, what are you talking about? This is a perfect, front side on the 5 minute, pretty nice front side on the 1 minute. Yes, and I totally agree, but it was a grinder. Every time I traded this ticker, it like pulled back again and kind of chilled into the zone for a while. I ended up scratching out. I mean, look at this, like, I bought here, popped up, sold back off, and, I'm just like, okay, well, breakout or bailout, and, so many trades that just didn't work. So it was a frustrating day for me for sure, but, yeah, this is exactly why in the summertime you want to kind of reduce your risk a little bit by reducing your max loss, because I could make this back literally in one trade. So it wasn't even like, it doesn't even feel that bad. Just, you know, tomorrow, my first trade, I could be up $500. It happens. So it's like, it's not even, you know, that I'm down that much at all. Like even a $500 green day doesn't even feel like a big green day. So it's like, it's a small red day is really what it feels like. Although technically I hit my max loss. Yeah, risk management is key, guys. And that's really as simple as it gets here. And one thing I actually, you know, I've been starting to implement that's been working really well. I don't always do it perfectly, but I wish I would do it even better, is basically don't average down ever, because that really gets you in the wrong mindset, averaging down. That's how you have big losers. And I did it once or twice today, and those were my biggest losers, of course. So don't average down, either cut or average up, right? You want to average into your winners. Right now, since it's summertime, we don't get the best continuation resolution. Averaging into your winners isn't the best either. You really want to do that when the market's super hot. So, you know, get your decent base size, get in, and then take your profits, and you can always buy back. I feel like is really what's been propelling this bit of a, you know, really nice August for me. Just this week itself has been a little bit brutal. I don't know, it's a bit of the tickers, it's a bit me, I can't really put my finger on it. Sometimes you're just in a little bit of a lull, and that's really what it is. Just survive until you thrive, don't do anything silly, and eventually you'll get out of it. So that's kind of how I feel right now. With MNMD, you know, again, I didn't trade any of this. It felt like super choppy, didn't really have the volume I was looking for, so I was like, I'm done, I'm not trading it. And then finally I decided to jump into it here when it finally fails, and actually on this one, I didn't cut, I actually averaged down, and then I cut. So I made a small loss into a bigger loss, took like $300 loser right there. First time trading MNMD, and I was like, that was really silly. That should have never happened. That could have, you know, that could have set me off today, because that was the trade here. That was right here. That was the $300 loser. So maybe that big loser set me on like a red mindset. I don't know. I could think about that forever, but that's definitely worth considering. So you want to cut. Don't size into those losers. It's really not the way to go. Unless you're in a really hot market and it's just not that for like sometimes these slow markets are not very forgiving because they will just keep selling off. But sometimes, like in a very bullish market, like anyone can make money. Oftentimes that's what people say, just because like it doesn't matter if you make a mistake because the ticker just keeps going up. So sometimes you can be a little bit more lenient, maybe averaging down into a hot bull market when you're like, okay, this is just an extended pullback. But again, best practice, because you don't even want to get into the mindset of averaging down. Just don't do it. I've really been implementing that well. Today, all my mistakes came from averaging down, and I like not even thinking about it anymore. So it's, or the averaging down. Sometimes it's like a bad habit and I still do it, but it's been really helping my risk reward, and it's just been making my days much better. Yeah, right here, I don't know, just didn't get that last pop. Right here, bought in for that pullback, was holding, and we didn't get the pop, and I, cut my losses. Same situation here. Actually had a good entry, popped up, and then sold right back off. I think I cut it somewhere in that area, and yeah, that's just how it goes. So another thing today, with basically being in that downwards trend, being pretty much at my max loss, I also had a hard time holding longer than I wanted to. So if I wasn't getting that quick resolution, I would close out at 1.2, which typically if I'm quite green on the day, I'll be a little bit more lenient, and sometimes that's what you need, especially when the tickers start, pumping a little bit harder. You need to be a little bit more lenient because they will be a bit more volatile in the spread. But man, when you're already at your max loss, it's hard to be in like pure focus mode and let things kind of play out a little bit longer. PSTV, just slightly red on this one. I think I only had one trade. And I gotta say with PSTV, this is a really important to mention here. I traded it like right here in this area and it didn't work out. This was our top gainer today. This was our lead gapper. And it was beautiful after hours. If anyone traded that, I would have loved it. Like, this is great action here. I would have loved to jump on that. Man, we've been getting so much like midday, so much late day, so much extended hours action, but we haven't got pre-market or market open action. That's been like really nice for me personally. But we'll get it eventually. It'll come back. So it's just kind of the cards that are dealt right now. Anyway, this ticker failed, and this was our lead gapper, and it's never a good sign when our lead gapper fails. It kind of sets the precedent a little bit, and today was a really miserable open. Pretty much everything we were looking at failed. Yeah, it was tough. BRSH was the only ticker I was green on, and I was thinking like, oh, I'm green on this ticker. Maybe I should just keep trading this one. Unfortunately, similar situation where this ticker also just had a really ugly open. I ended up trading it pre-market somewhere here in this area. I don't exactly remember. Let's see if my trades can pop up. Yeah, there they go. So I traded this pullback and then this pullback. The second one failed, unfortunately, but this first one, actually, the first one also failed. So I don't know what it is. I gotta guess, get more aggressive on that initial breakout, which sometimes I do, but today not so much. Market opened and this ticker just kept on dumping. At this point, I was thinking like, oh, we broke above VWAP. This one could be a good one to trade. But then I was like thinking, look at this. It's going to be, big resistance here, right here. And we're about to touch that area here and here. And I don't know. I don't see myself trading this one and being successful. And I don't want to get, dumped in. So look how many flushes there were today. I could have been even more red today. So maybe that's why I'm not that beat up. I'm more beat up sometimes on a green day that I didn't nail. But today was just a day that it wasn't the tickers for me. I couldn't do anything right. So the fact that, I'm at least not at $1,000 loss, I feel like is a big win. So I'll wrap up there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you got value out of that. Cut your losses and don't average down. I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.